today, you're probably someone who, genuinely loves to learn and grow.
Right, someone who likes to tackle new goals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's be totally honest for a second here. Sometimes the sheer volume of information out there on how to achieve those goals can leave you feeling, well, completely paralyzed.
Oh, absolutely. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, you want a mental shortcut to getting things done, something that actually works without the inevitable burnout. And that is exactly our mission today.
We are looking at a really fascinating stack of source material today.
We are. It's anchored by this new book by Victor Alamana titled The Journey to Clarity Hill.
And we're going to explore the underlying framework of this text.
Right, and more importantly, break down its highly practical workbook. But right off the bat, I have to warn you, when I first picked this up, it did not look like your typical dry, bullet-pointed self-help manual.
Not at all. It's actually uniquely structured as this gentle parable.
Yeah, which was surprising.
It is. The narrative follows a robot named Juno, a talking car, and a dog named Noodle.
A very fun trio.
Yeah. On the surface, it reads almost like a children's story, but we really need to acknowledge that playful surface early on, because beneath that simple narrative lies a deeply practical cognitive framework for adult personal growth.
And that framework is called CLARITYHILL.
Exactly. It uses the metaphor of a road trip to explain the neurological and psychological mechanics of how we actually make progress in our lives.
And the writing is incredibly sharp. It immediately pulled me in. There's this striking quote right near the beginning that really sets the tone for everything we're going to discuss.
Oh, the treadmill quote.
Yes. It says, yes, you can fail without even starting. If treadmills could talk, they'd be snitches.
It's so good.
I read that and actually winced because it is painfully true.
It's a brilliant observation about human behavior, and honestly, that's the core of what we are going to explore in this deep dive. Why do so many of our professional and personal journeys stall right there in the driveway?
Right. We buy the treadmill.
We download the language app.
We draft the business plan.
But we never actually turn the key in the ignition. So we're going to look at the mechanics of how to finally get that engine running, and crucially, how to tune it up when the road gets rough.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the foundational phase of this CLARITY framework, which focuses on your cause.
The letter C.
Right. So the story sets up this starting point. Juno the robot has all its bags packed. Juno is sitting in the driver's seat, totally ready to go to this legendary place called Clarity Hill.
With Noodle the dog in the passenger seat.
Obviously. So Juno turns the key, and total silence. The talking car whispers that they're missing something crucial.
Fuel.
Fuel. Now, Juno is a robot, so it doesn't really understand. The fuel isn't gasoline. The car asks Juno, why do you want to go to Clarity Hill? And Juno has to sit there and really search for an answer.
It's a great moment of reflection.
It is. Finally, Juno realizes the fuel is the why. Juno says, I want to go because I want to know what I'm capable of and I want to do it for me.
And that realization right there is the psychological turning point. The car responds that that is actual fuel, and the engine hums to life.
It's a great metaphor.
In adult terms, your cause is the intrinsic energy that powers your ambition. You can have the most capable vehicle imaginable. You might have the Ivy League education, the seed funding, the perfect home gym.
All the external stuff.
Right, but without that deep resonant why, you simply won't move. The text emphasizes that your cause must be real and internal.
So no superficial reasons.
Exactly. If you're aiming for a promotion just for the status, or starting a business just because someone told you it's a good idea, that is extrinsic motivation.
Like cheap fuel.
Precisely like cheap fuel. It burns out quickly the moment you hit a steep incline.
That makes a lot of sense. So the engine is running, but then panic sets in for our robot driver.
Already.
Yeah, Juno reaches into the bag next to Noodle and realizes the map is missing. The journey hasn't even started, and Juno is already spiraling, thinking it's a sign to give up.
Which is such a common reaction.
Totally. But a small blank piece of paper slides out of the glove box, and the car tells Juno to just draw 2 dots. One dot says start, and the other says Clarity Hill.
Which brings us to the layout phase, the letter L.
Right. But I have to push back here on behalf of anyone listening who manages actual projects. I get the 2 dots idea conceptually, but in the real world, if I am pitching a new initiative to my boss or trying to secure a bank loan, I can't just hand them a piece of paper with a start and a finish dot.
No, they would probably laugh you out of the room.
Exactly. I need a comprehensive roadmap. How does this layout idea survive the real world?
That is a very valid point, and it's a trap a lot of people fall into. The concept of layout here isn't advocating for zero planning.
Okay.
What it targets is paralysis by analysis. Many people completely freeze at the beginning of a venture because they want a flawless, risk-free blueprint.
They want to know everything before day one.
Exactly. They want to see every turn, every delay, and every pothole before they even put the car in drive. But a layout is not a rigid turn-by-turn map. It's a sketch of direction. Oh, I see.
The psychological relief here is immense. You define your starting resources and your ultimate goal. The micro adjustments, the detours, the agile pivots, those reveal themselves as you drive. If you demand perfect clarity before you start, you'll stay in the driveway forever.
So I really like that framing. It's macro direction, but micro agility.
Perfect way to put it.
So they start driving with their 2 dots, but the scenery is just lazily passing by. Juno gets incredibly frustrated with this illusion of speed, wanting massive progress immediately.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Juno decides to take a seemingly easy, incredibly smooth road that branches off. And predictably, that smooth road quickly narrows, slopes downhill, and dumps them into a dead-end, empty field. They wasted all that time and energy.
The shortcut trap.
I was reading this and thinking about how often I get distracted by the newest shiny productivity tool instead of just doing the actual work.
We all do it, and the dead end perfectly captures the next phase, action.
Yeah.
The letter A.
It is crucial to understand that action, in this behavioral model, is not about speed or frantic, chaotic movement. True action is the structure of daily habits and unsexy consistency.
Unsexy consistency. I love that.
When Juno feels ashamed about wasting time on that wrong road, a vital lesson emerges. Wrong turns don't erase your progress. They teach you how to read your own map better.
So failure is just data.
Exactly. Failure doesn't push you backward, it pushes you forward with more accurate data. Excitement diminishes for everyone. Success comes from showing up consistently when the novelty wears off, not from finding a magical, friction-free shortcut.
Oh, wait, let me play devil's advocate again. Because we do have deadlines. We have quarterly goals. We have project sprints. How does the framework reconcile taking your time and avoiding frantic movement with the very real pressure of having to deliver results fast?
It's a great distinction to make. The framework doesn't suggest you should be slow. It suggests you should be deliberate.
Okay, deliberate.
Frantic movement is working a 14-hour day, burning yourself out, making mistakes, and spending the next 2 days recovering. That feels fast, but your net progress is actually negative.
Yeah, that resonates.
Consistent action is putting in 4 focused hours a day, every day, compounding your results. The text argues that sustained momentum will always beat erratic sprints.
And that sustained momentum really gets tested next in the story. They get back on the right path, but suddenly the road becomes an absolute nightmare. Stones, uneven ground, massive potholes. The car is violently rattling.
A honeymoon phase is over.
Definitely over. Finally, Juno just gives up, turns off the engine, rests its head on the steering wheel, and feels completely empty, doubting if it's even smart enough to make the trip.
It's a heavy moment.
It is. And in this beautifully quiet moment, Noodle the dog just rests its head on Juno's lap. The implication is profound. You are allowed to break. You are allowed to pause. You just aren't allowed to quit.
Just breathe for a second.
Yeah. Think about the last time you hit a pothole at work or in a personal goal. Did you turn the engine off, or did you realize your tires were still touching the ground?
It's deeply relatable for anyone listening. We all hit that pothole-filled stretch where our goals suddenly feel entirely impossible. And this ushers in the resilience part of the model, the letter R.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The car gives Juno this incredibly grounded analogy. It says, you don't stop eating just because the food isn't sweet. You keep going because your body needs it. It's the same with resilience.
I love that specific analogy because it strips away all the Hollywood romance of resilience.
It's very unglamorous.
Yes, resilience isn't about being a superhero who never feels pain. It is highly practical, daily maintenance. Think about the car's tires. They might be caked in mud, scratched and worn down, but they are still gripping the road.
They're doing their job.
Right. Resilience is just your tires gripping the asphalt. It is the ability to push through setbacks and fatigue, knowing logically that the struggle isn't a sign of failure, nor is it a sign that you lack capability.
So it's normal.
Completely normal. Bumps don't mean you should turn back. They are literally just the physical reality of forward motion.
So Juno takes a breath, mutters just one more bump, and turns the key again.
Good for Juno.
And eventually the road does smooth out, and as they're driving along, Juno glances up into the rearview mirror and is completely shocked. Looking back at the foggy hills and that brutal, bumpy road they just survived, Juno can't believe the distance they've covered.
What